Good morning, my beautiful soul followers. How is everyone doing today? I am excited to be here with you guys. I decided to jump on here and just do kind of a relaxed conversation. For those of you who are new to my page, I am Addison Bell, orgasmic frequency coach. I teach you to have that orgasmic feeling everywhere from the bedroom to the boardroom and everywhere in between. It is about empowering ourselves. It is not just about our sexual energy. It is about empowering ourselves. It is about better relationships, better communications, and just feeling good within ourselves. And so yesterday I posted just a little quote thing about communication and how if we truly love somebody, communication is where it's at. And I wanted to sit here and just have a little bit of a conversation. Well, I guess it's a conversation if you guys want to join in below, but just talk a little bit about the importance of communication. We all know this. I don't know anybody who's in a relationship that's going to go, no, communication is not an important thing at all. Like, you don't need to communicate. Most adults that have any form of relational skills realize that communication is important. But I cannot tell you how many people I see in my practice, both couples that come in and individuals that come in, that will say to me, I can't talk about that with him or her. It's going to start a fight. It's going to bug them. It's going to upset them. And there are ways we can have communication with people and knowing that it's going to blow something up and doing it in a very insensitive way, doing it in a very ego-based manner. So we can look at somebody and go, it is your fault and you did this and guess what? That's not healthy communication. That is not what we're talking about here today. But if we say that we love somebody, if we say that we care about somebody, if we say we want the relationship with somebody, but we are unwilling to sit in the discomfort of having those conversations, the difficult conversations, not the happy, exciting conversations, but sitting and having those deeper conversations, the ones that potentially could start something, could get you in your ego, could get the other person in their ego. Those are the conversations and those are the moments that show us if we really actually do truly love somebody. So, that being said, yeah, I think that anybody we really care about, we don't want to see them upset. We don't want to say something that may stir them. We don't want to see somebody else hurting. And guess what? We ourselves don't want to be hurting either, okay? That is just human nature. We don't want to sit and purposely go into yes, let's hurt each other so we're crying and we're upset and we're angry. We don't want to stir those emotions. But it is imperative that we take the risk and we get uncomfortable. Because looking at somebody you care about and going, hey, we need to talk because this bothered me, or this upset me, or I'm noticing this pattern in a relationship, will be the thing that actually saves the relationship. Because otherwise, we shove shit under the carpet until we can't even walk over the carpet. Because we have so much crap that keeps us apart from our friends, our family, our partners, and especially our romantic partners. So yes, this does have to do with our friends, our family, our children. No matter what the relationship is, if you say you love somebody, guess what? Having those hard conversations is where it is at. Sitting in the discomfort, sitting and knowing that most likely ego will come up and that you both are strong enough to hold space in that moment. That is true love. That is truly caring about somebody. I get couples all the time that will tell me, and particularly, I get a lot of guys. Sorry, ladies, you're going under the bus here. I get a lot of guys, you are going under the bus in a different way. But I get a lot of guys that come in and they see me and they go, hey, Addison, I'm really struggling. My wife is not willing to have sex with me. She's not willing to have sex with me. Every time I bring it up, it starts a fight. And so I don't want to have the conversation. I don't want to bring it up. I don't want to even approach it. And we'll talk about different ways to approach it, because sometimes they're not approaching it in a way that is opening their wife, their partner up. They are coming at it from a direction that she immediately shuts down. And so there is something to know about how we're communicating. It's not communicating, it's what way we are going to choose to communicate. And what approach we're going to take in the communication to make sure it goes the best way. But they will go, no, I'm just not going to talk about it. I'm just not going to talk about it with her. It's going to start a fight. I just don't want to start a fight. And there comes a point where I go, you have two options. You can either get uncomfortable right fucking now and have that conversation and go, hey, this is important to me. If we don't have this conversation, our relationship is going to fall apart. Or number two, you can continue to hide it and have resentment and have upset. And guess what? That will ruin the relationship as well. Even if you don't disconnect meaning like you don't get divorced, you don't separate, you stay living in the same house, guess what? You will be doing this in your relationship if you don't have the hard conversations you need to be having. And like I said, women, there's a lot of women who will shut that sexual communication down. Now, that is not true of all women, but in this example, I get a lot of guys that come and say, she's not even willing to have the conversation. Well, on the flip side, if you love somebody and someone brings you something that is important to them, to completely shut it down and go, we're not talking about this over and over and over and over again, guess what? You know that is going to be also shutting your relationship down. If you're refusing to step in and go, okay, so here's where I'm willing to have this conversation, or the way I'm willing to have this conversation. Because sometimes we need boundaries. Sometimes we do need boundaries. But to really look and go, okay, yeah, I'm here. I'm willing to at least hear you out. I might not want to get into a full conversation. There might be some trauma or some shit I'm just not really willing to talk about right now. But I love you. I care about you. So I'm willing to sit here and sit in the discomfort of at least hearing you. Of at least hearing what you have to say and hearing it with an open mind. A lot of people go, no, we communicate, but it's all ego coming at each other. I get people that will tell me, we don't fight. And usually that is actually a negative sign to me. I'm not saying that you have to sit there and be constantly arguing with your partner. But if you can't sit and have those tense conversations, not maybe like yelling, screaming, that's not healthy communication, but those tense conversations, those ones that your heart starts racing and you're like, is this is edgy. This is definitely on the edge. I'm not sure I'm comfortable with this, and I know that my partner isn't comfortable with this, but we're going to stay here. We're going to hold space here. Those are how you save a relationship. And if you can't have those conversations with your lovers, family, friends too, your children are a little bit different. We have to take them at where they are emotionally. But if you have adult children, then if you can't sit and have grown-up conversations and sit and go, okay, let's sit down and really talk about this. Let's get fucking uncomfortable. The fact is, you're not growing in the relationship. Your relationship is dying. We're either growing in a relationship or killing a relationship. Relationships don't tend to just stay like this the whole time. They don't. So if you're not willing to have those uncomfortable conversations and talk about the real issues in a relationship, you don't really love somebody. It is not about just being there. It is about sharing your heart, sharing a piece of who you are with these other people in your life, and especially your romantic partner. I get it. I do not like to see the people I love and care about upset, angry. I hate when people are angry with me. I do. That is a total Addison thing. I do not like when people are angry with me. I am definitely a people pleaser in a lot of ways. And I have worked my way out of that throughout my years. But the fact is, I know that those hard conversations are where it's at. Because otherwise, we do end up hiding shit. We end up stuffing it and stuffing it and stuffing it, and that emotion stays with us. And it will start to infect the relationship. So if you truly love somebody, if you care about them enough to have those difficult conversations, to share your feelings, to let them share their feelings, to discuss where you guys are doing this. Because at some point, we all do this in our belief systems, in just our ego, in daily little things we say. But if you're stuffing and if you're not communicating that, you really, first of all, don't love yourself enough to trust yourself to sit there and sit in that discomfort. And then number two, you don't trust your partner to still be there at the end of the day. So that begs the question. Number one, do you really care about the person that you might be struggling with right now, or you've struggled with in the past, that you still haven't communicated things? Do you really love that person? Do you really, really care about them? Number two, do you care about yourself and you trust yourself? And is it more uncomfortable to you to let that relationship die? Or is it more uncomfortable to just sit and have the conversation when it comes up? Because otherwise, we end up throwing kitchen sinks at people. And that is a psychological term of like kitchen sinking. We take everything we've ever experienced with somebody and we throw it at them. And that can break a relationship because that takes tons of resentment and we toss it at somebody. It's all ego. Well, how we avoid kitchen sinking is to just deal with things as they come up or when we realize them. Because sometimes we don't realize them until a couple weeks later and we go, you know what? I'm really still stewing about that thing that happened over there and here's what came up. It's about, again, and I already stated this, but it is important to note again. It's about how you're communicating. We don't like, as humans, to have somebody come out at us and go, you did, you said, you. It is much better communication to come at somebody and go, hey, so this is what happened. And here's how I reacted. Here's what came up in me. Here's how I viewed it. Especially in the world of fast community, we're all busy, moving. And so a lot of times our communication gets twisted or energies get twisted. So if your hubby comes home and gives you a quick mwah and is out the door and you're like, okay, I guess I'm not worth the time. Guess what? That's a moment where you potentially could have just twisted energies. So just bringing not every little minor detail, because there's another end of this where there is, always picking at somebody. But those things that really do truly get to you or truly are coming up within, really triggering, those are the things that we really need to be talking about. So if you say you love somebody, then you need to look at, are you willing to get uncomfortable and have a conversation? So I would love to hear your comments below. I'd love to hear how this impacted you. Do you practice this? Are you authentically communicating? Hi, Ava. Ava wanted to join the live stream. Are you authentically communicating with those that you love, or are you trying to kind of brace and pad the relationship and not talk about those difficult topics? I can tell you that that padding of a relationship, padding of somebody else is not going to serve you in the long run. We can communicate with heart, from the least amount of ego that we can kind of muster at the time. We can't get rid of ego. We can go into a conversation lovingly, but it is important to have those conversations. So, all right, guys, I am going to let you go. Again, I would love to hear from you, hear what you think. I will get to as many comments and notes as I can. And other than that, I hope you guys have another amazing day, and I will see you guys soon. If you are interested in working with me one-on-one, then head over to addisonbell.net, fill out application. I'll contact you and we can talk about how we can work together and collaborate to make your life orgasmic. All right, guys. I love you, and I'll see you soon.